I thank you for your diligence, your transparency. I still trust you guys. Bill 36 and 37, that's Bill 1180's money. We saw a big spreadsheet and we've seen PowerPoints, and there's a wide array of island-wide services. To me, it's a disarray. And I am concerned at how the 60 million will be spent, that it will be directed towards the lava recovery area.
I also have heard several members, or at least a couple members of the council, say that there is a lot of misinformation in the public. Well, there could be misinformation in the public, but a lot of the information that we seek is provided directly by the county's website and also by county officials. So I just want you to be aware that there is some a bit of double talk going right now with regard to Highway 132.
Want us to take first, the 20 million or the 40 million matter?
Chair, why don't we start with the 20 million?
Okay.
We'll just go in order. Bill 36.
Okay, Bill 36.
Bill 36 amends ordinance number 18-68 as amended the operating budget for the County of Hawaii for the fiscal year ending June 30, 2019, appropriates revenues in the state grants lava disaster assistance state account $20 million and appropriates the same to the lava disaster assistance state account. Funds be used to provide relief, recovery, mitigation, and remediation assistance for damage, losses, and suffering caused by the 2018 Kilauea eruption. This was introduced by Ms. Kirkovitz. First reading was March 13. This was postponed to March 28, and we have a motion on the floor by Ms. Kirkovitz, seconded by Mr. Richards, to approve Bill 36.
So thank you for creating that space, Councilmember Richards, where we could talk about the importance of being accountable as a county to our community as well as to the state legislature, because our county really is creating the framework for how we handle disasters and the expenditures of these very important funds. That said, I would like to defer the votes on this bill to our council meeting in Kona on April 24th. I think it's important that we articulate a very clear process for how we are going to be working in partnership with the administration to spend monies. Our discussion yesterday articulated that process, and so I want to formalize it in writing and introduce it as an amendment to the bill at our Kona meeting.
All right.
It was hard for me to sit here and listen to testifiers from Puna, because I know the struggles. We all, in fact, all of us, my colleagues, we all have struggles in our own community as well. And so to hear them say things like, you know, your council members, don't throw them under the bus, political government, blah, blah, blah. You know, our colleagues that our council chair assigned to go and help to advocate to get the money here worked very hard to do it. All I ask is, like the community of Hawaii Island, whenever we're in some type of devastation, yeah? I speak from experience at Hamakua Sugar as well. We didn't go bashing our political leaders because we needed them to work alongside of us. What we did is we stood together. United we stand, divided we fall. And our council, the same here. We may not agree to, you know, we may not agree on everything. We'll agree to disagree. But we're one body. United we stand for our people. And we ask that the community stand together and show our leaders and our officials and just everybody else that's looking in on us that we're working together as one ohana. You know, we pride ourselves of ohana. Yeah. So all I ask, I know that some people got misinformation. All I'm saying, and I know I don't see anybody in the Pahoa office that had come and testify, and I hope they watch this as Naleo puts it out. If you get secondhand information and you get upset with that, call my colleagues that have worked so hard on this to get clarification and understanding of the process and the laws that we have to follow. There's some things we cannot break. We would love to. I'd love to break a lot of laws to get things done in my community, but I cannot. I have to follow a process. But all I ask is communities, people out there, instead of coming and bashing bashing us. Come and get clarification on why things are happening this way.
You know, I just wanted to follow up on something that Ms. Poindexter was talking about. We had a testifier earlier, Nancy Seifers, right, from Pohoa, and she's always so positive, always just really, you can just see the good in her coming out, right? But she's getting kind of frustrated. You could tell, right, from her her comments, and I just wanted to let her know that we share those frustrations, and we're all trying to work together in getting this thing done. But there are a lot of systemic constraints that we have to, as a government, face. But as Ms. Poindexter stated, we're here to answer any questions, and to try to clear up any miscommunications or misconceptions that may exist.
The FEMA contract that we had, $1.7 million for case management, that is so restrictive that we're having to hire 3 people temporarily to manage $1.7 million. So the fact that we don't have strings attached to this $20 million, I want to make sure that we are creating an expenditure plan in partnership with the administration that's driven by what the community wants and needs, and that we have this plan in place and a very clear process and procedure for how we are going to spend the money and make sure that we are keeping ourselves accountable and meeting those goals and expectations. There was an assertion earlier about the council being limited in their ability to take things home and work with the administration. And I'd like to counter that by just saying Bill 12 Exhibit A. It was very easy for myself and Councilmember Leloy to work in partnership with the administration to amend that bill so that we could provide relief to constituents. Not everybody can do that, but Ms. Leloy and I could, because we have good working relationships throughout the county. And I just have to press upon that for a little bit, because I was sick in bed last month, 104 fever, texting constituents. I'm very available to my constituents. I may not respond immediately. Sometimes I'm sick. But hey, I do make an effort to respond back. I'm very available. And Susan Kim, who is here today and one of the principal folks behind Imua Lower Puna, I feel we have a good working relationship, and I've definitely been giving her as much information that I have so that she is equipped to make good decisions and share that with her network. But, I feel that the administration and individuals within the county bent over backwards to accommodate the requests of constituents to get $12,000 to do some additional road work through that really wonderful road that PGV and Lono Lyman were able to make happen for residents in that Kipuka. I'm sorry, but there are forms. We got to fill out forms. Thankfully, and thank you, Director Lay, for being here today, you are providing us with a vehicle to do just that. And you've also assigned staff to basically hold the hands of our constituents, to walk them through the paperwork. And I've been assured that this is going to be expedited. I showed up, I did my part. This is a partnership between government and community, and we all have to play our role. And so I just ask, if there are individuals within the Kipuka that need some help, there is a designated person within R&D, or call me. I will have my staff sit down and help you fill out the paperwork. But I just have to say, I'm very glad that these individuals are now able to go home, and that's thanks to a lot of work from PGV and Lono Lyman, and even working with Public Works to make that happen. So again, Chair, if we could just defer this measure to the Kona meeting, that way we have a clear process in place for how we're going to be spending those funds.
As the General Government Island-wide 2018 Lava Flow Project Assistance State Loan Project for $40 million to the capital budget, funds for this project shall be provided from state loan receivable. Funds be used to provide relief, recovery, mitigation, remediation assistance for damage, losses, and suffering caused by the 2018 Kilauea eruption. This is introduced by Ms. Kirkovitz. First reading was March 13. This was postponed to March 28.
I would like to move forward and adopt Bill 37 today, and I've asked Director Sacco to come and address the council. It's really critical that these funds be available because it's not just about the roads and the infrastructure. There are critical pieces, such as a radio tower, that's my understanding, that will help to provide health and safety for residents of the area, because the fact of the matter that Poho'iki is not open and folks are going there and individuals are allowed access back into their homes. There are just more individuals in the area, and we want to make sure that they're safe and that our first responders are able to communicate and be there when called upon.
You have approved various appropriations so far, many of them FEMA and whatnot, in the Capital Project Fund, and these are to be the matching funds basically for those projects. And not only FEMA, but also federal highways. I think those are the two main ones that we're working with on this particular disaster. But while there's a lot of big projects that I know, we're still completing studies, we're trying to determine if we do permanent or temporary, and there's a lot of work to be done. There's other projects that are moving forward, whether it's fixing up the Pahoa Gymnasium and the new park complex after it was used as a shelter, or whether it's getting the radio tower. And the tower itself may not be built, but we need an alternative. And so they're working, Civil Defense is working hard to get that whole radio system back up and operational to protect both our employees and the citizens that go down there to enjoy the beach. So there are things that are moving forward. They may seem small, but there's some critical pieces. And so this funding will allow us to do the match for those projects.
So my colleagues, as you can see, these monies are incredibly critical, and this is a $40 million loan from the legislature, and it's to be used to match federal funds. So
Correct.
hoping for everyone's support on this measure.
Okay. Anyone else? Miss Leloy.
Thank you, Chair, and thank you, Deanna, for being here. I just want to expand a little bit of how we are trying to put all these different pieces together in a succinct way. And I will be supporting approving this measure. But I also want to remind my colleagues that in addition to this money, we also got a reallocation of $2.5 million from the legislature to help stimulate the economy here. So this multi-prong, multi-lane approach is what is needed. And we are working across all types of bandwidth to really stand the island back up. And I found this picture, which I just shared with the rest of my colleagues, and it's rather simple. It says success, what people think, and they think it's just a straight line. But what it really looks like is a bunch of squiggly lines all over the place, but at some point, we move upward. And so I've really begun to focus on this, that people think it's really simple and vertical movement is just seamless, but it's not.
This $40 million is much different from the $20 million in which we just deferred taking action on. This is a loan. It's intended to leverage federal monies, right? We're going to advance monies, but we're going to leverage a far greater amount of federal funds. But we need that upfront money, so we have to move quickly. I just wanted to make that explanation so that people, in case they're wondering, why are they moving without specification on the 40, but still holding up on the 20? The 20 is a blank check, so we have to scrutinize that a little bit closer. Okay. Any further discussion? There being none, all those in favor say aye. All opposed, no. Motion carried. Congratulations, all of you. And thank you for your hard work.